Run It Studios is the home of the Run Radio podcast and runradio.net, a podcast and station about the relentless, resilient, and innovative types, inspiring strides in life, business, and beyond. Welcome back to the Run Radio podcast. My name is Trina Wilcox. My guest today is doing great things in the community. Zack Wilson, welcome. So glad to have you. You're going to tell us a little bit about something right here in our community that is very important, and it's called the Drew Lewis Foundation and the event that you guys have coming up. So welcome and tell me all about it.
Hey guys. So yeah, like Trina said, my name is Zack Wilson. I'm the marketing and youth development coordinator for the Drew Lewis Foundation. What that means is marketing is pretty self-explanatory. I work on all of the print and digital advertisement as well as social media. But for the youth development side of it, which we'll get into a little bit more, I facilitate all of our youth programs that we can talk about later. But the Drew Lewis Foundation, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So the Drew Lewis Foundation's been around for a little over 10 years now. Our mission statement is we empower, educate, and support underserved families through personalized coaching to increase their quality of life and build more resilient communities. Now, that sounds great, but what does that mean? Well, we do it primarily through our three main programs, or more like four. First off is our RISE program, which it's an acronym for Reaching Independence Through Support and Education. It's a series of classes we teach that cover everything from financial literacy, housing, mental health, food security, giving you all the tools necessary to reach those goals that you've set for yourself that you thought were unattainable until now. It is geared towards individuals that are tired of living paycheck to paycheck or would like help achieving goals that, again, like I said a little bit, they always thought might have been out of reach for them.
Mm-hmm.
That is then coupled with a program called Rise Kids, which I'm a little biased over because I facilitate over it. That is where on Thursday nights, after the community dinner that we serve every week to the general public, the adults go to Rise. I take their kiddos and into what is called Rise Kids, where I teach them all of the same principles that the adults are learning about, just on a more foundational level. Perfect example. If the adults are learning about setting up a portfolio or making sure to keep up with their mortgage, I'm teaching their kids the values of saving money or what a bank is. Or if it's a more mental health focused lesson for the adults, I'm teaching their kids, hey, it's okay to feel your feelings. Here is some constructive ways to do so and how to express yourself. With the idea being that poverty, it's not only cyclical, but it's generational as well. So on the car ride home, or once they get home and their parents are talking about what they learned, kids already got a pretty good idea about, assuming I do my job right, the kids already have a pretty, but kids have already a pretty good idea of what their parents are talking about, which sets them up for success and at least being more well-rounded later on in life.
That's really cool. What's it like when those kids are in your classroom? I'm sure they're soaking this up.
So, well, okay. So I'll be 100% honest with you. Some of the kids, this is like their third or fourth venue that they've been to today, whether it's school, grandma and grandpa's, a boys and girls club, or some sort of after school program. So I usually get them at the tail end of their day. So especially for some of the kids that have been through some stuff in their life, I'm not always, at least at the start, their favorite person. I unfortunately, I'm a little much sometimes, a little too excitable. So when they're already tired and exhausted for the day, having some long-haired dude, I know with the hair up, it doesn't look like it, but some long-haired dude just be super excited to teach them about setting boundaries. It takes a little bit to build a rapport. But once I do, something that really drives me to continue this job, besides the fact that I absolutely love it, is to see the difference that the work has. And, not all the kids, because the kids that we work with range anywhere from 4 all the way to 17. And so some classes resonate more with certain kids than they do with others. But we do a good job to make sure that at the very least, they leave there learning either something absolutely new or at least expanding on current knowledge, all while having a little fun as well, because we always like to have an activity attached to each lesson.
What do you feel like is one of the topics that they really get involved with, what they seem to really like and enjoy?
So two come to mind. Number one is actually more of the financial literacy stuff because,
Mm.
while a lot of kids, myself included, at an early age were not taught stuff like setting boundaries or being able to identify what you are feeling at almost any given set of time. Um, there we At an early age, we do learn at least some behavioral and kind of abstract mental health lessons so that we're at least knowledgeable about the different emotions. Financial literacy, however, we don't really learn about until a much younger age. So, for especially the younger kids, about 6 to 9, they actually really enjoy learning about like, hey, how would I go about when I get older opening up a bank account, or what does it look like when I write a check? Like the fact that you could say at 9 to 10 years old that you know how to write a check, I mean, they're pretty stoked by it. The other one that comes to mind is another program that we put on called Rise Tools, which is an offshoot of our Blue House Project program, which I'll go over quickly. That is our affordable housing initiative, where we purchase and renovate old, falling apart homes in the Grant Beach neighborhood, renovate them from the inside out to make them not only livable, but welcoming. We then sell it back at a significant discount, our cost, to qualifying Rise families. If none of our Rise members qualify at the time, we then sell it back at market value to members of the community, but never a landlord that might take advantage of the new property. And then we stick with that family if it's a qualifying Rise family for a set period, and we have first right of refusal if they choose to move. But we stick with them to not just thrust them into home ownership and in case that they still need a little bit of not necessarily support, but education and anything they might need. And then after that, they are the sole homeowners. So it's a very unique path to home ownership, which is really what it's all about, is creating confident homeowners that a lot of people, especially in North Springfield, couldn't normally afford. So with all that, we also have a kids program attached to that called Rise Tools, which I facilitate over and help write the curriculum. And then members of our Blue House Project crew, who are expert craftsmen and construction workers, uh, teach kids from Rise Kids, 4 per cohort. It's 6 weeks, and they meet every Thursday from 5:30 to 7. And they teach them the principles of trades work. So that includes tool safety, creating a materials list, actually building projects. We always couple each cohort with a guest speaker. So last cohort, we had someone from Paragon Architecture come talk about architecture, and the activity was the kids built an international cityscape. And then finally, after the first 5 weeks, the final week, they actually go in with the BHP crew and do some minor work on some Blue House Project homes that that a family will one day live in. So, when we first started it, we figured, yeah, it'll be cool. Some kids, it'll be kind of like wood shop, right? The kids will be interested, but it'll be a fun class. But the reception has been incredible to the point that we're planning on in the next cohort or two actually opening it up to the public because we had such great reception. The kids absolutely eat it up. I mean, when you really think about it, it kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Building with their hands, and they get to take what they made home with them. And then at the very end of the class, all of the tools that we provided for them, they actually get to keep.
Very cool. Very cool. That's I feel like that's stuff that you don't necessarily get taught in school, maybe can lay the groundwork for a neat career path and all kinds of neat
Mhm.
opportunities there.
And that's honestly part of the idea is that we're adding on to the curriculum that they already learned. We're not trying to retouch on every single thing that they
Yeah.
learned in school because that would be a lot. And instead, this is more of an accessory to that.
So, how have you seen things change with your time there with these programs coming through and developing?
So I have been with the Drew Lewis Foundation a little over 3 years now, and it has grown more so than I ever thought possible. Reason I say that is when I first joined, they were coming just out of COVID. So they weren't doing the community dinners because it was still not safe to do so. Everybody was still masking and social distancing was still heavily enforced. So I could tell by just the first few weeks that it was kind of a crazy period for them. The event that we were actually about to talk about, Fashion Forward, it was held virtually that year because with social distancing and making sure everybody's safe, we still wanted to raise money to help send kids back to school in style, but still make sure everybody was safe. So the alternative to having an in-person event, they actually had to pivot to do virtually, which was a lot of fun, if I can be honest with you. It was a very unique challenge that I think we rose to the occasion of. We held a little bit of a kind of a QVC anchor sort of deal. So it was myself and another coworker of mine that was part of a live stream. And then we showed pre-recorded videos that families would send us of the kids in their back to school clothes that we bought them through the fundraising of Fashion Forward. And it was made fun. We still did auctions and raffle items and the QVC element of it. We kind of showed it off and it was a lot of fun. Was it the usual Fashion Forward? Absolutely not. But this story is indicative of just Drew Lewis Foundation and its profound ability to pivot under really any obstacle, whether it's different legislation that happens or a funding source that doesn't go through. A lot of nonprofits, as I'm sure you know, live and die by funding. So the fact that Drew Lewis Foundation for now 10 years has done so well to pivot and overcome any obstacle that it's ever faced. I mean, I've worked for a fair amount of organizations in my time, and it's incredible that how much the Drew Lewis Foundation and the nonprofit world as a whole can just seamlessly make something happen out of sometimes literally nothing.
Yeah, yeah. You've got to be crafty. And I think that's just an important lesson in and of itself. So talking about that, let's get into the Fashion Forward 2024. This sounds really exciting.
So, Fashion Forward 2024, the 10th anniversary of Fashion Forward.
Isn't it?
Fashion Forward is our biggest fundraiser of the year and my favorite one, largely because it deals with Rise Kids. So, what Fashion Forward is we fundraise in order to buy brand new, never worn, back to school outfits and school supplies to children in your local community, is part of our Rise Kids. A lot of these kiddos just come from backgrounds that they have to, whether they have a bunch of siblings or just parents have no other choice but to have them wear either hand-me-downs or just rewear outfits that they might have grown out of. So one of the big tenets of Fashion Forward is buying them those brand new clothes that they want, not just ones that we think they want. We have them fill out an entire sheet that has preferences, sizes, styles that they like. We then tailor it to their preferences and go out and purchase one or two outfits per child. And then at the actual event, so this year it's going to be August 2nd, we throw a night all about them, and that's complete with a fashion show, live music and entertainment, food and drinks, a pre-pizza party for the kiddos. For the adults, and especially those who've purchased VIP packages, we have a VIP party beforehand. And then at the actual night of the show, we'd have the live fashion show where the kids get on stage with the backing of live music and show off their brand new outfits that a lot of the folks that are sitting in the stands, whether it's their parents or actual people who donated money and bought tickets in order to come, actually directly supported with their donation dollars. They purchased those outfits and these school supplies. We also have a lot of my associates on the other side of what I do outside of Drew Lewis Foundation. I don't know if you're familiar with cosplay,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's when individuals dress up as like superheroes, Disney characters, video game characters, and portray that character. So we've got everybody from Spider-Man to Tinkerbell to Elsa and to Superman and Batman, so many more, all come to make it one incredible night that the kiddos especially never forget.
Very cool. What's the feedback like? What's the energy like that night? What are their kids? Are they popping all over the place? I'm sure they feel like 110% in their new clothes.
So I'm going to be 100% with you. So I have the kids practice the entire month leading up to Fashion Forward on Thursdays for Rise Kids. And it helps. It makes sure that they know kind of like what they're getting into. but the night of, I see my students flip into two emotional states. The initial emotional state, they are super nervous. Like, yeah, they're having fun. They've just got some pizza and some soda, and they're hanging out with superheroes and Disney princesses. But when it's go time, they are at least lining up pretty nervous. And that's
Yeah.
totally understandable.
Yeah.
The all of the professional lighting, the draping, the huge crowds that we fit into the Fairbanks, it can be a lot.
Yeah.
And, just practicing in an empty gym does not really prepare you for the actual night. But thankfully, we have incredible volunteers. The cosplayers even sometimes walk kids on stage if they're a little bit more nervous. And once they hit that stage, though, immediate mood shift. It then goes into, oh, wow, this is it. I'm here. And to tell you that I am so proud of them when they get on that stage after being nervous and absolutely rock it, do a little dance, and just show off how confident they are in their new clothes. I mean, there is no other feeling like it. It makes my heart absolutely soar. So it's an incredible event that honestly, and I know this is cliche, but you have to be there to
Yeah.
really gauge how impactful it is.
Well, then tell us how we can be there.
Well, I'm so glad you asked. So if you want to go to Fashion Forward 2024 on August 2nd from 5 to 7:30, actual event starts at 6, but come at 5. We have food and drinks, as well as raffle items and silent auction items, live music to enjoy, and entertainers. You can do so by one of two ways. Either email donate@drewlewis, DREWLEWIS.org, or you can go to our website, drewlewis.org, and click on events, and it'll take you right there to the Fashion Forward homepage where it'll have more information as well as tickets and sponsorship opportunities. And I know it's the week leading up, but we still have sponsorship packages available if you would like to be more involved with Fashion Forward and help kids back to school in style.
Very good. We will be doing that. We'll share this. What other ways can we be helping Drew Lewis Foundation?
So there is a plethora of opportunities that you can help the Drew Lewis Foundation, primarily with donations, be they monetary or in kind, spreading the word on social media. We are on all of them. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Nextdoor, and Threads, all of them. But we also, as you are aware, nonprofits live and breathe volunteerism. So we have a number of volunteer opportunities that I actually oversee. So our most reoccurring one is our community dinners that we serve every Thursday from 5 to 6 o'clock. I'm always looking for individuals to serve community dinner or help clean up afterwards, or from 6 to 7, help with Rise Kids, especially if anyone out there would like to hold babies. We have a lot of littles that we have in a separate classroom, so they don't really participate in Rise Kids. It's more of it's a different instructor, and it's more just general daycare.
Yeah.
So we are looking for individuals to help with the littles. But I also have other opportunities for you as far as we have one more event coming up called Fairbanks Fall Festival. That's going to be September 27th. It's a massive kind of party, kind of almost a block party meets your old-fashioned PTA Fall Festival. And I'm looking for volunteers to help with that, as well as a couple of one-off projects like helping paint a local duplex in the Grant Beach neighborhood, neighborhood cleanup, and a lot of other ones. So if anybody's interested in learning more, I would encourage them to email volunteer@drewlewis.org, and I would be happy to connect them with the volunteer opportunity that would work best for them.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. Come back anytime you want to talk about more projects, more opportunities going on at Drew Lewis Foundation. Appreciate it. Zack Wilson.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Trina. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yep. Thanks so much. Be sure you're following along. You can link over to listen or watch from runradio.net.